welcome back. I have a new person for you to learn about, and this is our person. Our special person is a fresh.
You want to do that again?
Yeah, let's do.
You're going to want to do that again.
Yeah, sort of. Okay.
We'll just keep going.
Okay, this is our next guest. Okay, that's I couldn't see right. Okay, sorry.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. I have a new guest for you to meet. This person is a freelance writer and editor living in Chanhassen, Minnesota. She pursued her childhood dream of becoming an author after several careers, which included teacher, accountant, and test developer. Maggie's Christmas Ride is her first published children's book. For more information on that, you could check with Amazon.com. 2 additional books in the Christmas series will soon be available as ebooks through megenius.com. Or some more information can be found at this address, maggieschristmasride.com. And our guest for this period is Ann Page. And I want you to welcome her. Thank you. Okay, hi Ann.
Hi Lori.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's really great. We're having a program where we're discussing writing for children, and I really am happy that you came. You have a new book that I'm looking at, and I was wondering if you would mind reading it for your audience.
No, I'd love to do that.
Okay, that's great. You can do it now.
Okay. All right. So I can just read the.
Yeah, just show the people what it looks like.
Okay, so
there it is,
the
Maggie's
book.
Christmas Ride, and I'm not sure if the audience can see it all, but it's really very, very cute, I think, and with lots of color. So go on, that's fine.
Okay, so this is a story about a little girl named Maggie. Little Maggie sent Santa a short Christmas note, but you'll never believe what the bold young girl wrote. She had just one request, and she made it quite clear that she wanted to go on his sleigh ride this year. But Maggie still hadn't heard, and she needed to know, would she have to stay home or would she get to go? When Chester, her friend, found out what Maggie wrote, he thought she should call Santa and cancel the note. You can't ask him for that, Chester said in a huff. On the night before Christmas, the sleigh's filled with stuff. There's just room for Santa, some gifts, and an elf. Are you planning to sit right on Rudolph himself? Maggie's feelings were hurt, and her face turned dark red. Neither knew what to do, so they left things unsaid. Since they'd finished their talk, they each went their own ways. They were bothered so much, they didn't speak for 2 days. Then Chester phoned Maggie and asked her to play, but she couldn't see him till Christmas Eve day. When they met, Chester gave Maggie a gift with a bow, Santa's flight in a snow globe lit up from below. All the rooftops and chimneys were covered in white, and the sleigh soared up high like a star in the night. Maggie finally understood Chester's intent. She would be with Santa. That's what the globe meant. Just by looking inside of the clear crystal ball, its spirit, she'd get to be part of it all. So Maggie and Chester stopped being so mad, because having a friend shouldn't make you feel sad. Once they made the decision, young Maggie's heart changed. Letting go of her anger, her thoughts rearranged. In a season like Christmas, it's not time to judge. It's for sharing and giving, not holding a grudge. Both Maggie and Chester went home feeling light, for they knew they'd sleep well on this Christmas Eve night. Maggie held her globe close as she started to dream of Santa, his sleigh, and the whole reindeer team.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I enjoyed hearing it. And I had you read it a little bit earlier in our program because there's some other things I am interested in.
Sure.
I want to know how you decide or how you decided to write children's books, and when you started.
I started a few years ago. I had heard A Cup of Christmas Tea, the Tom Hanks story, on the radio, and it brought back memories of Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and some of those fun rhymes from my childhood. And I thought, I might be able to do that. I think I would like to try to do that.
So how did you start?
I just started writing, and it was really bad, and my wonderful husband kept telling me how great it was. He's like, this is great, this is great. But it wasn't great. It took a long time to get it all sorted out, and then I found myself with sort of 3 different themes, and so I ended up writing 3 different books, and it was trickier than I thought it was going to be, and the rhyme part especially. But it really seemed like a fun challenge, getting just the right word with the right meaning, and then making sure that it fit the right rhythm and
there's
rhymed
a lot to that. I think some poetry in this time and age, it does not rhyme.
Yeah.
and your poetry does rhyme, and I think children might like that. That there's a beat to it.
Yeah, I think it makes learning kind of fun. And also, when I first published this book, a year ago, it was first published as an ebook.
Oh.
So it's digital, and in addition to being in paperback, and it's narrated, and each word highlights as the narrator reads it. So I think for English language learners, it would be a great way to kind of learn the rhythm of the language and learn, obviously the vocabulary is really simple, so it would be young English language learners.
Okay. And let me see what's on your bio. Oh, I was interested in the different careers you had. You have listed here that you were a teacher.
Yeah.
Was that for small children or was that for older children?
No, I was a high school math teacher.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, the person everybody loves to hate. When I tell people that, when I used to tell people that, I taught for 10 years, the reaction was always strong. Either really good, I loved math, or more universally, I hated math.
Do you think that children who learn math have more interest in reading, or does it have nothing to do with reading?
I don't know if there's a correlation. To me, math is like a foreign language. Learning math is like a foreign language because you learn the vocabulary and all the rules, and then you put it together, so that everything equals out. I was going to make it sound like an equation, but and to me, writing in rhyme is almost like it's almost like math with words, because there's a rhythm to it. This is written so that every third syllable, there's a few times where it doesn't totally work, but every third syllable is accented, and it's kind of like a puzzle.
Oh, like a puzzle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's.
I mean, writing it, it's kind of like
yeah.
solving a puzzle.
Now, you were also a test developer. What is a test developer?
I still do that on the side. I write, those big state exams that they give to kids all across
I've heard
the
of
United
them.
States and all the different states. I write those and I edit those. So I do mostly math questions and mathematics curriculum. So I think the writing might be on the wall. In my future, I may be doing some math books for children.
Oh,
We'll see.
what a great idea.
I don't mean like a textbook, but like a fun, book that just,
Maybe a little puzzle book.
yeah, maybe a little puzzle.
So you could, introduce the question or whatever, and possibly have some illustrations or something. I'm not sure if that would. What kind of age would that be appropriate for, do you think?
It would completely depend on the topic, but there are a lot of books like this almost for young children to learn simple math concepts, like fractions. That's a huge one for young kids. They just have a tough time, adults do too sometimes, have a hard time figuring out that, if you're comparing 1/10 and 1/2, 1/10 has that big 10 in it, and so you think it's bigger, but it's not. It's a smaller fraction of the whole. That kind of thing. I think that might be fun. We'll see.
And I think it's important for parents to realize that some of these, what you've displayed or talked about is really important for children, because if it's so always just do this and this and this with no other way to escape that those orders, and your ability to add color and something that's similar, or something that is important to children, that casts their attention on. I think that's a real wonderful thing that you got there. Okay, I think that our time is nearly up. Are there any other things that you'd like us to know?
Yeah, there is one more thing. I have 2 more books in the Maggie and Chester series. And so this is Maggie, and that's her best friend Chester. So the other 2 books are actually about Chester, but Maggie's in one of them. The first one's called Chester's Christmas List, and that does not have Maggie in it. And then the other one's called Chester's Christmas Visit, and that it has both Chester and Maggie featured prominently.
Great.
So.
Well, thank you so very, very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, this has been really a great program. I think we've learned so much more about children and the things that have been written for them. So thank you very much for your participation.
You're welcome.